pretty much.
Well, welcome back to dinner. As I was just saying, the main meal is about to be served, and we have discussed our business. All of you are aware of your respective opportunities, shall we say. So now, let's feast and bring on the main meal. And Cyrus, bring the meat. And the guy that I showed you last week, who was sort of hunched over and a little bit twisted, begins to direct the various staff, Helga, to come and serve the meals. Gertruda also serving, and as you might recall, the consorts are all sitting around at Strahd's end of the table. Ludmilla, Anastasia, Valenta, and even young Escher, the man who you had a very brief but interrupted conversation with in the guest towers. Strahd is now sort of sipping from his goblet. A little smear of wine, perhaps, on his lip after he drank, and really Rahardin, who's sitting at the end of the table, with in between you, Wolfel, and you, Fisk. Also says, yes, he has a wine, and he places his empty goblet down on the table. And he says to Gertruda, to Helga, he says to Helga, with her sort of fluffy red hair, Ruvak, he calls her, for her name is Helga Ruvak, you now assume. Ruvak, go to the cellar and select another wine for our guests. Perhaps one of you would like to accompany Helga for this selection, for there is a unique set of wines. For I believe, Lord Strahd, as we have discussed earlier today, that the supply of the wine has been interrupted by some means. This is most disturbing to his lordship, because, of course, not only do I enjoy a wine, and his household enjoys some quality wine, but our people, my lord's people, they need the wine to make it through their pitiful days. Who shall accompany Helga?
Fisk will stand
Beg your pardon?
Fisk will stand up and said, "Let me be the one to accompany."
Strahd turns to you and says, I heard your chair move. Are you standing or are you still sitting?
Small stature, but...
Right. And it is with that young Fisk and Helga... Oh, hang on. I must be able to... hang on then.
Where are they heading?
And Helga exit the room. Fisk, you exit the room with Helga? Right. Right, well, they're gone. What do the rest of you do?
Sorry, where was Fisk following Helga to? Was it just to get wine?
Rahardin says, answers your question. Yes. My glass is empty. I assume that yours are too. And as you look down, you realize that, yes, you've consumed most of your glasses of wine, and the 2 or 3 bottles that were used to pour the wine seem mostly empty on the table.
Last week I decided I wasn't drinking the wine. I was just going to pretend to drink it. I think Wolfrel had said something similar as well. Don't trust what's in the wine.
Right, well, Fisk is certainly mostly empty, because I remember he was drinking it.
Oh, yeah.
He hooked
Was
in.
definitely drinking it.
So hence he is. So the remainder of you look, and of course you've got goblets, so no one can really see the quantity of the wine, except perhaps for Helga and Cirrus as they attend to the table. The main meal is in meantime brought, and it's a succulent affair. As I said before, you had the menus, and I'll just bring that up for everyone, including me, to remind me of what the main fare looks like. A nice coq au vin, yeah, sweet chicken with an elven Bordeaux reduction, served with potatoes from the golden fields of eastern Faerun.
I'm a bit worried about the halfling whiskey custard. Is that where Fisk has gone?
Oh,
Menu for dragons.
such joy. So just give me a sec. Strahd is deep in conversation with Ludmilla at the moment. She is sitting next to him, and of course Anastasia next on the other side is sort of just continuing to glance down and sort of give Irina sort of spitefully sort of curt looks as Irina begins to take a few bites of her meal. Do the rest of you begin to eat? Cage and Ea, Wolfrel?
Cage
Narfa?
definitely starts to eat. Yep.
Is that right? Let's see. Nikki,
Yeah.
you're muted, by the way. You do know that, yep? Just so you know, yeah.
Sorry, I didn't realise I was, but I haven't been
No,
talking.
that's good.
Sorry, I did say hello though earlier.
Yeah, no, that's cool. No, we just thought you were being very rude.
Just thought you were probably having a party in the background and trying to block it out. Waiting for like semi-naked people to wander across and then wander back.
Come on, guys. Coming through now.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they're not paying attention.
We did do a perception on the food earlier, didn't we? So we're into another course. I might do another perception on my food before I eat, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or should I do an investigation?
No, do a nature check, because as a nature-loving person.
Cage is throwing just a general perception out there, just to see if he notices anything about anybody else around the room, but I'm guessing he's so focused on his food, he doesn't notice anything with that roll.
Yes, that's correct. He seems to be quite intent in savouring and sort of looking at Strahd and nodding. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. And so I just want to test something. I'm just going to move the map. So can you guys just tell me what you see?
Can see Fisk.
Can you only see Fisk? Right.
Mm-hmm. Is that because Helga doesn't throw a reflection?
That's all I can see too.
Yeah, no, that's okay. That's all right. No worries.
A blurry Fisk on a blurry spiral stair.
Oh, you've got blurry. Mine's quite clear.
No, mine's blurry tonight.
Ah!
Fisk, I hope you're not.
Irina is just mowing down when we're not.
Mm.
What about Ea?
Rainer
cheating.
in.
Yeah. I'll give Verena a bit of a nudge.
Right.
Yeah. Is Ian making eyes at Strahd?
Okay. Oh, my Skype's been upgraded or something. The rest of you guys, you got a different thing? Okay. Hey,
Now I can see.
okay, so is anything else, Maria, Nikki, you guys want to achieve? Just, well, I'll just do a cutscene now to Fisk.
No, I don't think so. I think if the food's okay, if Wolfall gives me the nod, I'll eat.
So you're good, Maria?
Yeah, I'm good.
I would just like to try to listen into Strahd's conversation if I
Okay.
can.
Roll a perception roll. I'll be back soon. Right. Meanwhile. So you go down the stairs following Gertruda. And I'm just going to give you a bit of a... I don't know, I can't... Unfortunately, they can see your character. So I'm just moving you now to new screen. And I'm just going to move you along. Gertruda, as she goes down, you know, you notice that you know, she seems quite sort of cocky with a bit of a spring in her step, that she's been asked to take you down to the cellar. And so you go down one flight of stairs, about 40 feet. So quite a distance, and it's quite cool. And you move up to a door. Can you see that? Is that... Yep. And then you come through, and then you're in this rather large corridor.
Yep.
Hang on. Nikki's rejoined. Nikki!
Shoot.
I will ring you back when you're ready. No sneaking back in. Yes. He will be back on shortly. Nothing like the opportunity for us to have a little chat. And basically takes you into the wine cellar. And do you see that? Yeah, I'm really hoping this fucking works, Bernard. Ah, fuck me. Doesn't. Ah. Alright. Okay. So basically you go in and to see if I can find it. How am I gonna fucking do this? This is so fucking annoying. I don't want to show it to everybody. How can I do that? I wonder if I can just show you. I know what I can do. I know what I can do. Yes, yeah. No, this is oh, for fuck's sake. This is so annoying. This is like just not working well at all. Okay. Yeah. Is it? Do you think Foundry's good? But that's Windows only though, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Oh wow. Okay. That's probably like Encounter Plus, you know. Yeah. Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay. There we go. That's really shit, but you'll get the idea. She selects some normal wine, and then she takes another bottle of wine from nearby that image. Have you got that image? Yeah. And then returns. So I'm going to get the other. So you now go back upstairs, yeah? So basically, they're panicking about what the fuck we're talking about. Which I just love. Because, you know. It's not on the wall. There's actually a fucking person strung upside down being slit and blood falling into a thing where obviously Strahd's and his vampire spawn, his consort's wine is being poured. You get wine, normal wine. Yep. Okay. All right. Okay, cool. I'll bring the others back in. And move you back upstairs. Hello. Fisk returns with Fisk returns holding a bottle of wine. Helga has a bottle of wine, and she goes up to next to Strahd and begins to pour and top up his cup, and tops up those of Anastasia, Ludmilla, and Valenta, as well as Escher. Although Escher hasn't drunk too much.
Okay.
So
we look at Fisk and go, okay, how was it? Was it an interesting trip to the wine cellar?
It was interesting.
Fisk has returned to his seat, clearly.
Clearly.
I'm not about to yell over tables.
But, you know, it's like, oh, it's okay. Do we notice? Okay, this is a perception roll.
Helga now comes and tops up Fisk's glass, and goes to top yours up and goes, "Oh, would you like some more?"
No,
and
thank
then
you.
tops Cage's up and puts a little bit in Ears. Was Ear drinking as well? I don't think she was. I think she was. Is that right, or did she end up saying, "Oh, bugger it," and going for?
Hang on, let me just check the notes from last week.
Duncan, Fisk is going to use his silent speech to directly talk to each individual and explain what I saw.
Go ahead.
So in your head you hear a voice, which is my voice, saying that when I got the cellars and a bottle of wine was chosen, I saw a body strung upside down with its throat
Maria, you're probably going to need to mute because I think you just cut out Fisk. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, hang on. Let me. Oh, sorry, so many screens open right now because I can.
Right. Did you, Nikki? Did you hear everything clearly or not?
No, it's sort of.
Well, you had one chance, Fisk. That was it. So Strahd says, "Oh, this is a beautiful drop. Now, please, once you have finished your mains, we shall clear it away, sirs, and bring the dessert for our guests. Now, it intrigues me. I saw you all at Yester Hill, so only some days ago, and I was quite impressed with your abilities. In fact, it is what finally tipped my hand to inviting you here to my home. Tell me, did you manage to reinvigorate our wine industry here in Barovia? You'll need to unmute now, Maria, if you're going to speak.
Okay, if no one else jumps in, Starfire nods and says, yes, we returned the gem to the Martikovs so that they could start making one of their types of wine, which I don't remember which one.
Spectacular. At least some juice of the grape will be most welcome in the lands. That is very good news to hear. Is there anything else that you think I should know about the Martikovs?
Well, they seem like quite nice people. They've been really pleasant to us. We like their wine.
Yes, I do find them pheasant-like, and yes, the Blue Water Inn has been providing appropriate hospitality to you.
Yeah, very hospitable.
And as this conversation pursues, the main meal is cleared. Can I just see who partook of the meal and who didn't?
Did I ever get a response on my perception check, my nature check?
Absolutely delicious and fine.
I followed.
I beg your pardon, you ate? Okay, Wolf ate. Cage
ate. He definitely ate.
Ia, did she eat?
Who's running Ia today?
Irina. Irina said she ate.
And Ia ate. Starfire?
Starfire ate.
My good man.
Yeah.
Unless Bernard wants to run home.
Biscuit.
It was actually it's the most delicious thing you have all eaten in the several weeks that you've been trapped in this dark and gloomy land. You feel the richness of the meal melting into your stomach. And for a moment you fear that perhaps it might cause some issues with being such a shock to your system from the beets and roots and wolf meat that has been your staple these last couple of weeks. But alas, it is not the case. You feel it is almost giving you a boost of energy, a new outlook on the evening as you suddenly, your body sucks in the nutrients that it's been missing so much since you've been shipwrecked upon this awfully mist-infested land.
Do we think it's an unnatural boost? A supernatural boost of energy? Give me an insight check,
perhaps. See what you think.
Yeah. So Cage is going to give an insight, and so will Starfire, being the skeptics they are.
Well, Cage says, Lord Strahd, this is spectacular. Your efforts to make us feel like we're back at home and perhaps long for it, he says, with a sort of raised voice, is noted. And I must say, sir, thank you indeed. Your efforts are most appreciated by myself, and I'm sure I speak for all my compatriots here. The evening so far has been wonderful, informative, one full of challenges, but most satisfying. And Starfire, you do not detect anything. You think that this is actually unbelievably delicious.
That's unusual given what she rolled. Okay.
Sorry, I am paying attention. I'm just trying to get a mouse that will work.
Okay. Yes, I'll echo it and say to Strad, thank you for what is a very
The
delicious
plates are
meal
cleared
and
by
an
Cirrus
informative.
and Helga, mostly under Cirrus's direction as he grunts and sort of struts backwards and forwards, sort of giving instructions to the young Helga. Her sort of quite attractive form, tightly wrapped in sort of serving girl attire. Her sort of beauty and red hair sort of flicking around, and you notice that she is certainly trying to catch Lord Strahd's eye as she moves up to the end of the table where the consorts and Lord of von Zarovich is seated. Dessert, he says. Shall we have dessert? And your plates are quickly replaced as you chat amongst yourselves, and Strahd chats with his consorts. And before you is a beautiful, wonderful looking dessert.
What does it look like?
Well, it looks like a whiskey infused whatever it was.
It was a creme brulee with
that's
a
right, the
halfling
creme
whiskey
brulee.
custard.
Yes.
Fisk was a bit
A
worried
fabulous creme brulee with halfling whiskey, custard and sugar from Hillsfar, served with berries and coffee or dessert wine. And at this particular point, Cirrus and Helga now come round with a smaller bottle and a jug of steaming coffee. And whilst the room is warm from the fire, the hearth, crackling away, it's still cool away from the fire, and you see wisps of steam coming from the coffee pot.
Okay.
So, wine, my dear, or coffee, says Strahd as he sort of looks down to you, Wolfrel. What shall it be?
Is Fisk still drinking the wine?
Oh, yes, he is.
I think I'll have a wine.
And with that, your glass is removed, and a small, again like a sherry glass, is replaced. And the dessert wine is poured in, and it's sort of an orangey, has an orangey look. Helga continues to move round and makes the offer to all of you. So, shall I assume that Cage takes it?
Cage has just done a nature check first before taking it.
Yes, he thinks it looks very orange.
Okay. Starfire tried to do a nature check and just thought, that looks great.
That's correct.
Mm.
And Wolfrel thinks it looks very orangey too. It perhaps could be a dessert wine, indeed. Irina gives a little giggle and shoots a little smirk up towards Strahd, you notice. And what you do notice is that it's not missed by Anastasia. And she makes a audible she goes. And she takes a sip from her goblet, places it down.
Okay.
And it's at this point that you realise that throughout the entire course of the meal, it now dawns on you that the other end of the table have not eaten at all. They have simply sipped from their goblets. No plate has been served to them.
Vampires.
Yeah.
Rahadin, on the other hand, is busily eating the brulee. And he goes, "My lord, the Vistani have done exceptional. We must thank them next time they are an audience."
Yes, the Vistani cooks are amazing.
Cirrus goes, "I am no Vistani. I am of the Mogra folk from Kresik, here to serve Lord Strahd. Do not credit the Vistani. Enough. Shush, Cirrus, to the kitchens," says Strahd. And Cirrus suddenly takes his place again and departs through the doors into the kitchen.
What did he say he was?
Yeah, I didn't catch what he was. All I heard was Mogra blah. That's what it sounded like. I was like, I don't know what that is.
That's what Cirrus looks like.
A Mogwai.
So what is Cirrus?
Strahd says, "Ladies," he turns to Volanta, Anastasia, and Ludmilla. He goes, "Ladies, shall we dance after dinner? Shall we invite our guests upstairs to the ballroom for a dance? Rahadin, perhaps you could go ahead and organize the music." Rahadin stands up and gives a bow. "Yes, my lord," and departs.
Okay. Catch Wolfrill's eye. I'll be like going.
Cirrus now departs as well, clearing away the table, as does Helga. And the table is now cleared away, except for your dessert ports. Strahd is now just with his wine at the end of the table. And he says, "Before we depart upstairs, I do encourage you to please, under my protection, stay the night. Of course, as I have said earlier, if you wish, my carriage will return you, no doubt by dawn, back to Lady Vakta and her newfound township, Vakta House. Vakta. And he waits to see if anyone's going to jump in.
Vakta.
Ah, I see. Thank you, my dear Starfire. It's not unusual that your kind know my valley.
So, while we're chit-chatting about things, given you have so much history, what can you tell us about the Silver Dragon of Argynvostholt?
He was not much of a fighter, Argynvost.
Okay.
His head lies in my castle, vanquished as of all those who rise against me. Whilst you are here as my guests, as you intrigue me into my land, I have seen you arrive, I have watched you, and I have seen what you have done. You intrigue me, you lot. But do not mistake my intrigue and my hospitality for that of a truce or alliance. You take arms against me, like Argynvost and his kin, and you too will end up a skull in my basement and a vintage of wine. But such dark discussions have no place in the to in the current point in time. This is history. History.
Yeah, just interested though. Does the dragon head, has it like, a bit graphic, but is it just a skull now or have you preserved it? Like, how do you even show off that kind of trophy? Just out of interest.
I have no need to
I'd
show
really
it
like to
off.
see it.
I see. Well, unfortunately, perhaps on your next visit we could arrange that, for it is below the level upon which we feast, and as I have said, I am not inclined to invite you below. My entire river loft, named after my beautiful and gorgeous mother, despite her disdain for the place. This Ravenloft is a thing of beauty. Yes, I know the mists and the darkness do not perhaps show her off from the outside as well as she is, but I encourage you. Take to the towers, explore, read, and take the time to know my home. But do not venture below this floor. Do not seek to find the skull, for it is simply nothing but a empty piece of bone lying tossed aside as a trophy of one of my many vanquished foes.
Okay, well that's interesting then. Not preserved, just a skull. Got a question for you though. This whole dark pact you talked about and somebody taking your place. How did you fall into the dark pact and the curse? How did that happen for you?
Strahd places his glass, his mug down, and you can see visibly all the consorts sort of sit a little straighter, and both, in most cases, both their hands are now around their wine glass, and they're sitting a little straighter and sitting a little back. It's subtle, but all of you pick it up. Strahd lets out a sigh. I am a prisoner in my domain, as I am a prisoner of love. For I believe it is only when I am reunited with the love of my life, and he looks directly at Irina, that this curse shall be lifted. Perhaps not only for me, but for the people of my land. And they shall return to the material plane and be able to leave this place. And until then, it is my duty to protect them, to nurture them, and to provide for them the best that I can. But in answer to your question, perhaps I was foolish in love and embraced a dark power unwittingly. And now, and he sits back and sort of spreads himself out, he says, and now I rule this land forever. And whilst I'm trapped here, it is moments like this that brighten my dark days.
Steph is going to be very honest with him and just say, the reason I ask is because I had this thing happen, and I'll point to my blackened teeth. And I'll say I overstretched some magic and I was granted something that I didn't question. And as a result, I have this. So, yes. I thought,
As I said earlier this evening, almost all of you, I believe, have taken some pact with the dark powers that hold my soul to this very place. And it is my hope that one of you willingly choose to step forward. Prove yourself by bringing that filth Van Richten to my home, chained and ready to be dealt with by me as I see fit. And if you find him, you must not take his life, you must leave him to me. And with that, should you achieve that, you will begin the process of perhaps replacing me? Will you have proved yourself worthy of ruling my land in my stead? And of course, it is a contingent on the love of my most beautiful Irina. And he points to Irina, and she smiles, and she goes to get up and move
I'll
towards
pull her
Strahd.
down. I'm going
Okay.
to pull her down
Give me
back
a
into her seat.
give me a dexterity. Give me a dexterity saving throw just right now. That'll do.
I think if she is going to make a stand, I can try and grab her too.
Sorry, who is?
Starfire, who's on the other side of her.
Yeah. Do you stand up? Do you actually stand up?
No,
Do
I'm
I?
sitting. I'm just trying to grab.
Okay.
I'm trying to
Wolfrul,
pull her back.
she pulls his chair back, and you place your hand on her arm, and she stops, and she just sort of stops, and Starfire, you sort of quickly turn, but you knock over your wine, and the red wine spreads out across the tablecloth in a stain. And Strahd goes, I see. I am sorry, my staff are not here to clean this. On this note, Irina, shall we go and dance? Or let us rise and move to fresher pods. Rahadan will have provided the orchestra. And come with me. Let us go upstairs and dance. You are all staying, is that correct? Or do I need to organize my coach?
I think we are going back to Vakterholt, aren't we, team?
Oh, that is such a shame. You could stay the night, you could stay the day. My coach will depart tomorrow evening. In 24 hours, I offer you the opportunity to stay in my home. Of course, during the day, I shall need to rest, because I like to party with my brides at night. And he puts both hands out and grabs the hands of Anastasia and Ludmilla. And they give him a little giggle and a little sort of wink. And he has a sly, very sexual look about him. And he says, of course, you're welcome to join us after the dancing to continue the dance together. Wolfrul, perhaps you might enjoy this as a woman of nature. Perhaps.
I'm just thinking about it. I'm thinking about it. If we do stay, will you all be staying upstairs with us? Is that where you stay?
See. Yes, I like the way you're thinking, Wolfrul. Yes, we can all go upstairs, we can dance, and then from there we can go up to my chambers, of course, and dance the night away till the wisps of dawn begin to gently kiss upon our toes, at which point myself and my brides, we shall depart for rest. You, of course, will probably need to rest as well, having partied all night. And as the sun falls tomorrow, I shall see you in the grand hall and bid you farewell as you partake my coach back to Vakterholt under my protection till you return. Of course, you must not break any aspect of my truce. Do not go downstairs. Do not provoke or destroy any of my property. And all shall be good. And perhaps, yes, Wolfrul, you may enjoy yourself and decide that, yes, perhaps there is something that you want from me in exchange for what you hold so close to your bosom. I'm going to let you guys have a quick chat about what you want to do while I go top my wine up.
I don't know. It's risky staying overnight, I think.
I know that opportunity to go and steal the skull during the day is tempting, but we'd never get it out of there, right? It's massive. So I feel like we're outnumbered too. There's a lot of vampires in that house.
And if you call your buddies from the that other castle we were at.
Yeah.
That's going to break the truce, isn't it?
But we could
I think
explore
so.
tomorrow.
Sorry?
We could explore tomorrow.
We
I
could
know.
explore.
We could explore, but exploring would take us downstairs. So you said you saw a body hanging downstairs,
Yeah.
and it was definitely dead, I take it?
I couldn't tell for sure it was dead, but I'd say 90% chance it was.
But it
Was
was
it
being...
male or female?
Sorry.
Male or female?
Again, not sure. I just saw it upside down, hair hanging down because it's hanging by its feet.
That could be Van Richten's friend.
Esmeralda.
Yeah. We did, if they are draining the blood, they could be doing it slowly, so that person could still be alive. Did you notice if the hair was red?
There was blood in the hair. Yeah, absolutely.
Was
The
Esmeralda a redhead? I can't remember.
I don't think we know. We just knew. I think we supposedly will know her if we come across her.
Because maybe she's another bride now, hanging about.
Mm.
Thing is, do we want to break the truce? Therein lies the question.
Do we think we could question the brides more or the consorts more and find out anything from them? I'm just worried if we go dancing that he's going to get hold of Irina.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. That's why I wanted to go back. What would he do if one of us stepped up and said, sure, we'll take your place? Starfire, Queen of Barovia. That's a nice ring to it.
It's probably a good dental plan too for that fang.
Exactly. I might actually get my teeth back, get it all fixed. What do you reckon? Oh, part of me wants to stay and explore, but we'll break the truce and then it'll be all over, Red Rover. And I don't know if we're strong enough to deal with Strahd and the consorts. Fisk, if we stay, you're definitely going to head downstairs, aren't you?
I don't know. I'm going to do a bit of sneaking.
Yeah, downstairs?
Don't know if I'm going to risk Strahd this time. I'm going to explore everywhere else first. Don't know if I get bored, maybe.
See, this is just it. It's that whole, if we break the truce, it could be really bad. This whole, I don't know. It feels weird. Like
it feels very contrived.
I know. Like it's in a book. It just, yeah.
Like what we do is what they planned for us to do.
Yes. I don't know. Part of me wants to just say no to the dancing, go to bed, and we'll ask if we can take the carriage in the morning and leave. As a compromise.
Well, when I creep around, I want to do it in the morning. I don't want to leave in the morning. I want to creep around at night, bump into vampires at full power.
Well, I was just thinking about getting a good night's sleep and then just hitting the road.
If we're staying the night, we're staying the morning.
Fuck. Really?
Really?
He did say we could sleep after we party all night. It's just the partying all night part makes me worry about whether we'll get to the morning.
Yeah. Irina may not get to the morning.
think he's toying with us at this stage. I don't think he's going to do anything to us unless we do something drastic. That's my feeling.
Like explore the lower level.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. It sounds like you want to stay.
I think we're here and we should at least look around the upper levels a bit before we leave. It's taken a bit of effort to get here.
And we may get another peaceful invitation.
The next time, maybe under very different circumstances.
Okay, so this is our recce to figure out where we'll map all the entrances and exits and plan.
Right.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Let's tell Strahd.
Hey,
We'll have a little chat to Irina about, like, don't dance with any strange men, and that means Strahd.
Can we send Irina to bed? Probably not.
Strahd concludes the passionate embrace and kiss that he has shared with Anastasia, whilst you've whispered between each other.
Okay.
Ludmilla and Escher have been chatting, and Valenta, you notice, has been looking towards you all.
God, has she been listening?
Staring at Irina, listening to you, Starfire, and looking at you intently. Strahd stands. So, what shall it be? Will you take my offer of hospitality and protection on my honor? Or shall I summon the coach and you depart now? For I feel that we could do some dancing. Or if you don't want to dance, then perhaps I just take my brides to bed. And if any of you wish to join us, you may. And he looks at you, Wolf. I need you to do a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, man. It's okay. We've got you back.
I can't hear what you're saying, Nikki.
I'm muting.
Read your lips. Starfire. Okay.
Wolf.
Starfire.
Hang on. Nikki just rolled a 1. A natural 1.
I know. Bad, isn't it?
So, despite your better judgment, Nikki, you're thinking Strahd's looking mighty hot. Maybe it's the fire. But you're thinking Strahd's looking mighty hot. And you wouldn't mind to get close to that for a little bit of a tango. Perhaps a dance, that could be all. But you're kind of really thinking that everyone's got him wrong. He's actually quite a dashing, charming, and honest man, to be honest.
Starfire's looking around the group. Does she notice Wolfrul's going a little bit...
Give me an insight check, Starfire.
Insight, okay.
You do notice that Wolfrul is blushing as Strahd looks towards her with his invitation to any and all, and specifically her, of which upon her bosom rests something close to him.
Starfire's going to go and hip check Wolfrul and shove her out of the way behind her and go, okay, bed sounds great. We're not up for dancing. The girls and I are going to go to sleep now. And I'm going to link arms with Wolfrul and Irina and give Ear a kick under the table and just say, right, thanks.
Give me a
strength check. as she tries to hold them back.
Oh, where's your character sheet?
Oh, gosh.
Supposedly, I've got advantage against being charmed. Bloody vampires.
Natural 1. That's bad luck.
Give me
Don't
a acrobatics.
I thought it might be acrobatics, actually.
Okay.
Who? Me?
So you managed to get your arms around both Irina and Wolfrol.
Wolfrol.
As everyone's sort of standing up now, Estrad is suggesting now that we depart the room after you've carelessly knocked over the wine all over the silken tablecloth. You also now begin to notice that there's a pattern in the wine.
A pattern. What kind of a pattern?
Facebook Messenger group chat.
Hang on.
We got to get you. I'm going to buy you. I can send me where I can send you money so you can buy some headphones, so that we don't get the of your typing. No, but we want to hear what you say.
Oh, that's a really weird symbol.
Wolfrol, you feel that Starfire's overstepping her mark. You think that there's a really good opportunity to get some intelligence and to perhaps scope out his, his upper levels. And you think that you really should go. Irina.
Come on, Starfire.
Irina turns to Starfire and says, "Darling, I think you're being overprotective. I can make my own decisions, and twice bitten, I do know how dangerous this circumstance is, and I'm relying on you all to protect me. But I don't think he'll do anything." And she whispers, she looks at him and gives us a smile, and he just sort of gives a very sort of, he doesn't smile with his lips, he actually almost smiles with his eyes as he returns her gaze. And she turns back to you and says, "I don't think he'll do anything tonight. We're under his protection. He's a man of honor, don't you see? Tonight is all about his honor." And she's still touching her neck like this. And then her sort of fingers sort of go round to the other side, and she is sort of almost presenting subconsciously her neck down the other end of the table.
And I'm going to remind her that while he may not attack us, you offering yourself to him, that ain't under the truce, darling. That's you giving in. So he's perfectly able to do whatever he wants.
And she sort of shakes and she goes, but I'm not. Yes, let's Wolfrol, shall we go upstairs and just it would be rude. He's a guest and a nobleman. It was very rude. I know law and I have studied it. It would be very rude of us to. Perhaps we just do one dance.
You know what?
What do you think, Wolfrol?
Well, I'm leaning towards dancing at the moment, although I'm not sure.
Starfire's going to try and persuade them and try and get Cage to help persuade as well, because Cage isn't much of a dancer. and just say, it's all much better if we go and rest, because otherwise we'll be very tired. We've had a very long and arduous journey and day. Got to get our beauty sleep in.
Ah, you hear a very childish, girlish laugh come from the northern part of the room. And you see Valenta and Cage deep in close conversation, and Valenta sort of pulling back a little bit of her dress to bare more of her chest as she steps in towards Cage and whispers something in his ear, and he chuckles. And Fisk, what are you doing at this particular point? Standing at the door, and suddenly Strahd says, my darlings, shall we dance while our guests banter amongst themselves? Valenta, come join us, he says with a change in tone that's distinct. Valenta shoots a look at him and then shoots a little look back to Cage and gives him a distinctive wink both Ear and Fisk see as they step out. Escher being the last to go behind Lord Strahd into the chamber beyond. What say the rest of you?
I say, very quietly to Wolfrol, I think Cage wants to be the next successor to Strahd. I think we should just go.
Fisky, what are you doing? You've been quiet, young man. Let's hear from you.
Just been quietly observing the goings on and sipping my wine, and I slip out the door behind Strahd and his entourage.
Okay. Are you doing that stealthily, or are you just
Stealthily, but I'm not trying to sneak, but I'm certainly making...
Yeah. So the room now, with the fire crackling, the organ taking this sort of imposing piece in front of you, the dinner table with the stain and your goblets left, everything else now removed. Irina and Wolfrol with Starfire, Cage and Ear at the end, and Cage begins to now make his way too behind Fisk and joins in the procession heading towards the grand staircase.
The Starfire's 21, was it? Does that persuade Wolfrol and Irina that they should all go to bed and not follow Strahd?
Did I feel any different after Strahd stepped out of the room?
No.
Still hot for the count.
Did the 21 help?
I haven't said anything different, and Irina seems quite keen to go. She goes, come, just one dance. Honestly, just one dance. It would be rude, and perhaps invoke his anger. They step out.
I'm about to wash my hands of Irina.
Ear steps out as well and sort of keeps a watchful gaze on Irina.
I'll ask Ear what she wants to do. What is she thinking?
Who's running Ear?
I think Ear thinks that it's a good idea to go to bed. I think she agrees with Starfire.
So
she's getting a bit nervous that we're all behaving a bit like out of character.
As all of you begin to make your way involuntarily or voluntary as you wish towards the grand staircase that winds its way up to the top of the tower. I did describe it upon your entry, and I shall describe it now again for you. You're in the guest hall, And this great entry, torches casting odd shadows across the faces of 8 stone gargoyles that you see standing around you, motionlessly on the rim of the dome ceiling. Frescoes are painted in the dome ceiling. You are now passing the double doors of bronze that are closed off to the east. And you're now beginning, Strahd leading the way with Ludmilla, to climb a wide staircase, climbing up into the darkness. And with that, my dears, you now go up to the next level.
Dun, dun, dun.
Bum, bum, bum.
Not one of those levels where your feet start turning black, teeth fall out.
Hang on, sorry. Let me orientate where the fuck everything is. Right.
Dunk, I'm going to try and talk to Cage.
Okay, cool.
I want to see what Cage is thinking about Strahd. I want to ask him what he thinks about the situation and Strahd, and if he thinks it's a good idea to stay. I just want to check to see if he's sort of been charmed by Strahd, if he's all Mooncarthy.
Okay, give me an insight. Oh, yeah. No, Cage is not charmed by Strahd. You are absolutely certain of that. But you do get the feeling that Strahd, Cage has his own agenda. And he's become a little more distant from all of you now that you're at Ravenloft. Until you arrived, you felt you had absolutely no reason to doubt his integrity and his loyalty. But just in the matter of hours that you've been a guest in Lord Strahd's home, something about Cage seems a little more distant. Perhaps it's something in his eyes, perhaps it's the way he speaks. You can't quite put your finger on it, even with a natural 20. But what you do know, with a natural 20, is that Cage is no longer a fully committed member of this band of ragtag adventurers.
That's what I thought. Okay, ta.
As you come round, the staircase splits and leads up and up into a brightly lit courtyard in a great hall with glass and iron lattice work on a large window in the western hall. Now let me place you all down here. This immense room is brightly lit. Fire, like iron sconces, are dotting the walls and have been lit. Directly across from the window, which is here, stand double doors as you pass them. Further south, a single door also leads from the east wall. At the far end of the hall, a large wooden throne stands atop a marble dais. The high-back throne faces south, away from most of the room. Strahd moves and takes a position at the bottom of that dais. Ludmilla next to him. Oh, sorry, that's Ludmilla. Valenta standing oddly to the side. Anastasia takes a side there, and she partners with Escher. And then suddenly, without too much ado, music begins to play, emanating from an unknown source. As the door opens from the east, and a man steps out. I'm hoping that's coming. Oh, hang on, my apologies. That should do it now. My lord Strahd, what are you doing? Oh my goodness, there are guests. No one told me there were guests, he calls. Strahd looks towards him and goes, and sort of flashes him away with his hand. No one told me there was to be a dinner or a party tonight. What is it that you are doing here? And he turns to all of you.
Okay, we will introduce ourselves and ask him for his name and what he does.
My name is Leif Lipsige. I am his lordship's accountant. What are you doing here, and what have you broken, or what monies has the lordship promised you? Strahd turns. Leif, my good man, return to your accounting. And with that, he looks a little left and a little right, and he sort of, my most humble apologies, my lord. I shall return to my columns and make account of your expenditure. And he turns to the rest of you, and he sort of just goes, I see, are you staying long?
Just the night.
I see. Please report any breakages to Rahadin. Where is Rahadin? He's never here. Yes. Alright. And he wanders off. And with that, he shuts the door behind him.
What an interesting little fellow.
Come, dance! Strahd begins to dance with Ludmilla, Valenta, and Cage. You suddenly realize is standing next to her. And Cage bows deeply and begins to dance with Valenta. Wolfril, you feel an incredible urge to interrupt Ludmilla and Strahd's dance and intercede yourself between them.
Oh man, Sapphire's going to have to do another acrobatics check, isn't she?
But what you can do for me, Nikki, is you can give me a wisdom saving throw.
Yeah, I really do want to fight it and maybe go and follow the accountant to find out what he's up to.
You suddenly feel that you're overcome by the moment, and this accounting dude's interjection into the evening's proceedings has caught your attention.
Phew.
Irina is sort of standing back with you, Fisk, and she leans towards you and she says, What do you think I should do?
I think you should stand down. I think you should stay back with me.
Will you protect me?
Perhaps. Certainly if it's in my interests, I will.
She reaches down to take your hand. Do you accept?
I pull it back. Don't touch me.
Oh. She goes, "Oh yes, you're so right." And she takes a couple of steps towards Ludmilla and Strahd. And without warning, Ursha suddenly goes over and begins to not dance with her, but begins to politely converse with her. And he seems to be asking her if she's enjoying herself here at Ravenloft. And does she feel any kind of memory of being here before? Strahd and Ludmilla cease their dancing, and Strahd moves to Anastasia. Anastasia begins to dance as Ludmilla moves over and stands next to Irina. She interjects. My darling, perhaps you might wish to stay longer than your friends. Strahd is a man of his word. You'll remain here on his protection. He will not take you forcefully. You, my darling, must join him willingly like the rest of us. But I do warn you, be very careful of... And she looks towards Strahd, and as he's dancing with Anastasia, she fails to finish the sentence and steps off and approaches you, Fisk, and says, shall we dance, little man?
No, we shall not.
Is your loss. Okay, Starfire.
Yep, that was me. Sorry, too many tabs open. Man. I was going to try and grab Wolfrul again.
Mm-hmm.
But I failed my acrobatics, so I'm guessing it kind of went whoosh through the air. I'll just call out to Wolfrul instead and go, I think it's time to take Irina to bed.
Yeah,
The first
I think
song
you're right.
finishes, and Strahd steps away. Oh, sorry, this is the second song. Strahd steps away from Anastasia, and he steps up onto the sort of raised dais of which his throne faces south. He turns and he says, what a wonderful evening it has been. Now, can I confirm that you will all stay the day? You may now return to your tower or seek whatever it is you wish to explore in my castle. This is my home. I am very proud of it. It is made to honor my mother and my father. You may not go into the lower levels. And I warn you again, and I say this as a man of honor. You have my protection on the upper levels unless you destroy or defile my home. Do not enter below, as that will break my truce, and it will be with great disappointment that I shall too clean your skulls and place it next to those of your kind in my lower areas. This is not what any of us want. You are free. You do not speak over me, you impetuous dragon kind. You do not know your place. You are here as my guest. Your forebears have learnt their place, and they now rest torn asunder upon it. The rest of you, you have many things to think of. Many things to consider. Opportunities to seize. And escapes to dream of. Bring me the 3 things I wish, and the Vistani will see you all gone within a 10 day. Well, those who wish to leave, of course. You do not need to answer now, and you don't even need to answer today. You need to just seek out my agents, call my name in the dark, and the deal shall be done. Step away from your hopeful and ambitious and scheming friends, for they may not have your back, but I will honor my word. Come, my darlings, let us retire upstairs to our bedchamber, and should any of you wish to join, you are more than welcome. And with that, Strahd departs through the big doors.
Who's he calling scheming
With
friends?
Anastasia,
Oh,
Valenta, Ludmilla, Esther, and Cage.
And Cage.
Hey,
Hey, what a schemer.
What Cage? Where are
The
you
door
going?
shuts.
Cage.
yeah.
Oh.
I told you, he's
Mm.
after the role. He wants to be king of Barovia, doesn't he?
Jeez. The black eye wasn't enough for him.
I know. See, it's that werewolf thing, right? Now that he's been bitten, he's got his eye back. He's all good. He's feeling strong.
Mm. I think this happens to me. What's that?
Werewolf.
Hmm.
Right.
Do you think we should? So where are we going to search first?
I
Maybe
was
we
gonna
could eavesdrop on them. Wherever
So you
they're
suddenly
gone.
find yourselves all alone. And hang on, sorry, just let me just do a little bit of tidying up.
That's okay. Can we have a quick
Yep,
5-minute break?
Okay, we got half an hour to go, so we'll have a 5-minute break. You guys can chat amongst yourselves. Cage is left, gone upstairs with Valenta, and you do notice that she took his hand as she walked out. With that, I'll let you chat amongst yourselves as Maria has a 5-minute break, and so do I, because quite frankly, a 1968 version of bladders bought on Taiwan market are cheap.
So what are your thoughts, Fisk?
I'm thinking a bit of sniffing around is on the cards. Go and have a chat to that little old accountant.
I think he would be a good place to start too. That was a very weird little interlude with him, the way Strahd was not. I don't know, it didn't seem like he was in control of him.
No, excuse me. It didn't make any sense why he, of all people, would come out. Like,
So I think we should make sure Irina comes with us. Keep an eye on her. Maybe if she hears a few home truths about the housekeeping around here, it might do her good.
yeah. What have we got?
So with this person they were bleeding out when you went to get the wine,
Yeah.
did it just happen to be in the cellar where the wine was, or was something more going on with this?
No, it was just there. It was kind of hidden, but then I saw it when she got some wine. So it's obviously it's just that's Strahd and the Vampire's wine. They just bleed a body into a bowl,
Ah,
and then just fill that up, and that's what they're drinking. Whereas we drank real wine. So it's some hapless victim. It wasn't suggested I knew who it was. It was a rather quick glimpse.
So, shall I stay behind in the room and keep Irina in the room while you guys explore? Because I feel like Irina's going to wander off if one of us doesn't stay and watch her.
yeah, I thought that, or we should take her with us. We were thinking we'd go and start with the accountant.
Oh, really?
Mm.
That's a good idea. Yeah, would make sense.
Yeah.
Or we could tie Irina up and leave her in the room.
I don't think she'd like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure she's going to be amenable to being tied up.
Yeah, Ian might enjoy it though. Should we leave Ian with Irina in the room?
Well, Irina would enjoy it if she was tying Ia up, but
Or vice versa?
maybe
you
we
think-
should just
Go.
bring them both all along.
Okay.
I think if we turn Irina hostile against us, then we'll have a hard time keeping her with us. If we tied her up, she'd probably stop trusting us.
Yeah.
She's been pretty good. At least she didn't go wandering off with him like Cage did.
Yeah, can't trust Cage.
Ever since that slug thing came through the room at the winery. Remember we found the snail trail through the room? I don't know what happened there, but something has been hinky with him ever since then.
It could be the werewolf bite as well, though. He could totally have gone to the dark side. Always difficult. Okay, let's go find the accountant. Which door did he go out through? Was it these ones?
The one where Fisk is.
Standing outside it.
Here.
Who moved me?
No.
Sorry, that was me just clicking on the thing. So this door.
No. Where I was standing before I got moved.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So we're all... I can't grab Irina.
Can't move Irina. Sorry, where do you want to move her?
No, she's stubborn like that.
We're going to go in search of the accountant. As a group. Excuse me.
Okay, so there is a door that recently slammed shut, and it is before you.
Knock on it?
I'll knock on the door. We'll open the door.
The door is unlocked, and as you open it... Oh, hang on. Let's do that. You see scrolls and tomes line the walls of this room. More scrolls and books lie scattered on the floor. Around 4 heavy wooden chests fitted with sturdy iron locks. The only unobstructed floor space is directly in front of the doors on the east and west walls. In the centre of this clutter stands a great black desk. A figure crouches atop a tall stool, scratching on a seemingly endless scroll of paper with a dry quill pen. Nearby, a tasseled rope hangs from a hole in the ceiling, and if you have a look, suddenly a man turns and looks at you, as per the Stuff of Hope's Facebook Messenger chat.
Leaf, my good friend.
What is it? What is it that you want? Are you here for money? Has Lord Strahd sent you to be paid off? Have you traded something? What is? Give me what he has said.
If there's money on offer, I'm interested.
I am not here to offer his lordship's money. I'm here to quit any deal that he has made with you.
We were wondering where you came from and what you do here in the castle.
He takes a moment and steps back. I have been pressed into service to his lordship for many years now. I keep his accounts in order, and he is at times a difficult man to order. But I do not know what has happened in the world. Is the village of Barovia still in existence? Is Krezk still? Is there still wine flowing? What of Velaki?
The wine is flowing again. Stopped for a short time. Krezik's still there.
I see. These names, whilst familiar to me, feel so distant. Now, it's my numbers. But I do know this land well, like the back of my hands, and it is many days, maybe 2 nights travel to Krezk, and before I was pressed into service here, I would have said 2 days travel, but now, this place. And he looks up, and then he looks down very deliberately. Changes one's perspective.
Are you from Krezk?
No,
Originally?
but my father was a cartographer of some note, and so I know this land and the previous lands before it fell. But now I serve this lord. One of you carry a treasure. Is this why Strahd has sent you? Must I make some acquittal for you? Must I ask his servants to open the treasury? And what does one of you have some great treasure of Strahd's?
Nothing of Strahd's, no. But we do have a map. If your father was a cartographer, would you like to have a look at our map and tell us if you think it's accurate?
He drops his quill and he sort of places it and then places an inkwell on the scroll that rolls down onto the floor. Oh my goodness, you have a map?
Can we show him the map?
Yeah, show him the map. Yes? He immediately sort of gently, it's almost like if he could grab it physically like that, he would, but he kind of caresses it, and you can tell that caress as he sort of crinkles out the curls would be as if he grabbed it and hugged it, because it's quite clear that it has some significance to him. He goes, "This is my father's work."
Wow. It's very fine work. It's served us well so far. I'll try to throw a bit of persuasion in there to like make him hopefully cooperate and give us information.
Is there something we can do for you, Leaf?
Something that what?
Is there a way we can be of service to you?
There's nothing you can do. My world now is keeping track of Lord Strahd's extravagance, his expenditure, and he sort of eyes the chests that are sort of littered around the room. There's 4 chests, as I said. And he sort of comes back to you and says, I am unsure what else I can do for you. Are you staying the night? Then my advice to you is do as his lordship says. You are not the first to be invited here, you know.
What do you know of the lower levels?
I know nothing of the lower levels. I do not go to the lower levels. The lower levels are forbidden to the living. Death and darkness lurks in the lower levels. And with that, he sort of rolls the map back up, and very slowly and deliberately hands it back to you.
I'll ask him if there's been any other travellers recently, because a friend of a friend asked us to keep an eye out for her. Has there been anybody else recently visit the castle?
He looks up at you very deliberately, and he says, you were the first in maybe 10 years to have been invited to dance with Strahd. I assume you had dinner. It is his way. Maybe 10, give or take some years. Yes, there were others, young, hopeful, and they betrayed his lordship this very night. Do not betray his lordship, for it was my duty to account for what was found. And after I spent many days washing it, finally I could remove the stains and bring it into account into his lordship's books. I beg you all, do not be tempted to breach his lordship's offer of protection, for I am sure that you are here under such. I am here, too, under an offer of eternal protection, and an offer of immortality, should I choose to take it. But I think my time is best served, his lordship, in a mortal coil, accounting for his extravagances, and those extravagances of his brides, for they know nothing in comparison to that of his lover. And he turns back down and he looks. And he sort of says, I have much to do. Is there anything else I can help you with? Should you wish to go up to your rooms, you may, and he points towards the eastern door. You may take the stairs. The central stairs will go up, and you will find yourselves in your accommodation. Or if you are leaving tonight, if Strahd has his carriage ready for you, then you should only need to go down maybe 2 levels until the main room. Do not go 3. 3 will bring you nothing but misery.
I'll tell him that Strahd made us an offer, but to consider that offer, we need to understand sort of what is being, what we would be taking on. So I ask him, where does Strahd get the bulk of his money from? Is it a taxation? Is it he has farmlands? How does he provide for Ravenloft and all of those within?
You see, Strahd does not pay us with coin. Strahd pays me with breath each minute. Strahd pays the brides with his attention. Strahd accumulates his wealth through, yes, the most obvious ways of taxation. And also, for some strange way, he brings to our shore ships carrying wealth and people like yourselves. Oh, you poor souls. For sure you bring wealth too to this land. And I shall at some point no doubt be asked to cleanse it and to enter it into the ledgers. And he looks around to all the scrolls and the books that surround this room.
How strange.
So have you made any record of a transaction with our friend Cage?
Your friend Cage? I know not of your friends. I have seen you tonight. There's the two of you here in the room, and the rest of you standing at the doorway. I do not know who is Cage.
Oh, he was with us in the room when you came in.
Yes, well, there was many of you. No, I've made no transactions, and any transactions, to be honest, are confidential between my master and the recipient. And if none of you have instructions to discuss with me a transaction and have been given the appropriate phrases, then we really have nothing more to say. Perhaps you are just simply passing through on your way to your room, so you can go back into the grand hall and downstairs, and then go past my door. Do not come in. And you can see that his door is locked on this side, heavily. That's the door on the right here.
Are you sure you don't want to live with us when we go tomorrow? You sound like you'd like to explore the map in the real world again. And I rustle the map a bit.
He takes a heavy and slow, deliberate breath. My darling, you do not understand what is happening here, do you? You
Probably
You
not.
have been given a great opportunity. I can sense it, I feel it. It is in my blood. It is in my family's heritage. And you do not understand what it means to his lordship and what danger it brings to him. And if you are not here, my darling, to negotiate a appropriate fee for the exchange and the safe return to myself and my family and my liege lord, then I must ask you to leave, because I am unable to do anything other than to pay you and dismiss you from my sight. But if you wish to reconsider, you know where my room is here. I will be here. This is where I do not leave, except for the water closet. You can find me here anytime, my dear. And as you know, Strahd may have told you something to say to me, and in which case the transaction shall be completed to your favor, and the coach drawn as promised, and you may leave this land wealthy, beyond all imagination, my dear. And he pats Wolfrol gently and fatherly on the hand. You must consider it is a very generous opportunity.
What, we leave Paige as the one to stay, we sacrifice Arena, and we get wealthy out of the bargain. We just need to cough up Van Richten.
And something else.
And a piece of jewellery he's interested in.
His lordship will pay handsomely for this jewellery.
How handsomely?
That is between his lordship and the current holder of such said gems.
So we can't leave the current holder with him in case she rolls a natural one again.
Actually, do you know where our book is? The book that Strahd borrowed from us?
I do not know what you mean. I am surrounded by books of account. Is there something he has purchased from you? It is not made to my attention in the most recent months. Have you been here long?
Just recently.
I have no
it
transactions of warrant other than some payment to the Vistani to source these things that you must have eaten tonight. Although I must admit, I did bring a little whiskey for myself. It can't all be wasted in desserts and such wanton, lustful ways.
That's a fair call.
And there's no obvious sign of the book on the
Give
shelves.
me an investigation roll. Yeah, no.
Well, I guess we can add that to the list of walking around the castle and looking for stuff.
Maybe he's left it beside
Now,
a bed
please,
somewhere.
you must leave me. I have much to do. You know, your dinner, no doubt, you probably consumed wine, and, you know, there's recompense. His lordship is fair. You know, for where there is loss, you know, a family must be recompensed, and I shall, no need, indeed, I shall need to, spend, some time, acquitting your simple dinner. Please, either take the opportunity now to go until the tower through my east, through the door, and he points to the east, or make your way back downstairs. Please, or you know, go as it is as you wish. You know, I have no further need. If you are not here to transact and you do not have a phrase for me, then perhaps we see each other later tonight, madam. And he sort of nods towards Wolfrol. My lord has said that you are keen to transact, and I shall go gather the appropriate amounts now and bring it up from the vault. Yeah, very good. I'll see you. And he sort of starts to push you all out. So do you decide to go, or do you stay and hold your ground?
I think I'll go.
I'm going.
Right. And with that, he shuts the door behind you. If I can draw a line. Like that. Look at that. Ha ha! Did it! Boom.
Boom.
Right. You now find yourselves on the other side. The room continues to be brightly lit. The sconces seem to be just as bright and just as vibrant as when you entered the room. All of a sudden, music again echoes throughout the chamber. Magically formed,
I would have thought he'd listen to much more gothic sort of stuff. I was expecting more of a Cure or
Not 50s Beach Party White.
So this corner of the room over here that seems cut off, what was that?
Oh, it's,
Bad dynamic lighting.
let me just check. It could be bad dynamic lighting. That actually, yeah, that is bad dynamic lighting. It should actually look exactly
okay.
there. And can I just assure you, there is nothing suspicious about.
Yes.
Yeah, no,
No window.
it's not a window. It's a wall. The only window in this room is the ironwork and glasswork that is up here, opposite those double doors over here. Excuse me, where Fisk is. And then you've got the two great stairs leading down.
And the throne. There's no book on the beside the throne or anything left there.
No,
is
there isn't. No, you don't see anything obvious about the throne other than it is rather lush. And everything seems in rather particularly good nick.
Hmm.
Yeah, can't look out that window. That's a window, isn't it? Just having a look out the window. See what I see.
You see rain, mist, and a flash of lightning.
And a battle too.
No,
And a
bats.
battle too. Have a look at the. I'm just going to have a look at the chair that he was sitting on, top of the dais. Poke around. Investigation.
Okay, image in Microsoft Messenger.
What a chair.
I beg your pardon?
Nothing odd about the chair, I think.
Yeah, I don't see an investigation.
Hi. Keep rolling. Now, let me try again. Investigation.
There isn't anything overly unusual about it. It does seem in rather good condition. It doesn't seem worn in any way. It seems quite luxurious. The gold seems to be not like flake. What's the right word? It actually seems to be quite like the gold trimming is actually quite solid gold, not like a facade. Yeah. Irina is moves up and she sits in it.
Ooh, very
And
bold.
she sort of goes, and she sort of looks around and she goes, my subjects. And then she chuckles and stands up and sort of stands to the side and then wanders up and looks out the window.
Oh dear. I might go over and talk to Irina, see how she's
What they're
travelling.
saying.
You're not thinking about staying, are you, Irina? He's already got all those wives. They didn't look like they would be very pleasant to live with if you
Can
did
you
stay
give
here.
me a persuasion check, please? It wouldn't be bad though, would it? Like, I know what he is, and I know what he wants, but maybe the answer for everybody is that we do what he says and the light comes back, and my brother and my father won't my brother won't take my father's fate, and my cousins and the people of my township will see sunlight, and the world will be right again. Maybe it is a small sacrifice to take, before. What do you think? And she turns towards you
Do
and
you?
sort of grabs both your hands, and she goes, do you think that maybe I should give myself to him and free this world? I mean, he's made very simple. Your friend is not here. The man with the magic is no longer here. What?
No. I'll hold her hands and say to her, no, I know he's not here, but we don't think he's been holding the faith with the group for a while. And no, I
Do
don't
you
think you
think?
should do that. I think it
Do
would
you
be
think it is
very
he who
dangerous.
Strahd think has the strength to replace him, or is it another of you? And she looks around at each of your compatriots.
I don't know, but I think he's probably just trying to get an advantage out of the situation, and we have to be careful that the rest of us stick together
But
so that we get out of here
you
alive.
have the that neck, that symbol of the raven. Are you going to sell it to Strahd for your freedom from this place? Because if you do, then what have you got to lose? You're free. You and your friends, Strahd has said, can leave. And all I need to do is accept his love, and this whole land could be free too.
But you heard what the accountant said. People have been selling things to him for years, and the land isn't free. Do you really think the land will be free if we sell him what we've got? He took the book from us. I don't trust him, and I don't think you should either. I think you should stick with us until we understand what's
She
going on
turns
here
and
better.
gazes out towards the dark as a lightning bolt streaks across the sky. For a moment, you think you see a bird or a bat or some speck against the darkness on the outside of the window. As your attention returns to Irina, she turns back to you and she says, perhaps you're right. My brother said I should trust all of your judgments. And whilst I think that my life is not my own and never has been, I will continue to take your advice until I do not.
Well, I think it's your own, Irina. As long as you stay away from this place and Strahd, I think it is your own life.
But
It's when you come here is when you'll be trapped in a destiny you
this is
didn't
beautiful. Do you
choose.
not see it? I can see this. This is fantastic. This is It's almost as if I remember it, and it is only here, and she points towards the great window. It is only here that Sergei and I and she looks completely pale. And she turns towards you, her eyes wide with fear. And she says nothing, and her shoulders droop. And she takes the steps towards you, Wolfrol, and she says, yes, you're right.
I'll put an arm around her shoulders and let's go and find the rest of the party and see what we can learn tonight while we can.
Okay, so that's Wolfra Arena. Anything else happening while that was all going on? Fisk, what are you doing?
I've moved to the stairs, and
Can I just check everyone's okay for, say, another 10-15 minutes? Is that all good for everyone? No pressing cat issues,
Yeah.
Maria, or anything like that? You're good?
No medication to give at this
Nikki,
point.
you're good?
All good.
Okay.
I'm good.
Okay, Fisky, you're at the top of the stairs.
I
The stairs
said-
go down, and it's now dark below. Previously, it was lit when you came up.
Yep. Okay. Shall we head down the stairs, people? Colleagues?
Yeah. Maybe we can at least
I beg your pardon.
suss up level.
So you're all heading
We
downstairs.
can have... Yeah, we'll go for a nosy.
It's back to the dining level, isn't it? That
Yeah,
we're allowed
correct.
to go on.
So just let me just put you all in a little
Hmm.
block, because that's convenient from dungeon mastering point of view. There's only 5 of you. Oh, how interesting. Alright.
Who's missing? Only Cage. Is anyone else missing? Where's... Oh, he is there.
I beg your pardon?
Sorry, you just worried me. I thought someone
I
else
think
was missing.
perhaps there is, I'm not sure. Okay,
Okay.
as you come downstairs, you back into the grand entry hall. The doors to the west are shut, the doors to the east are shut. No longer do the lights burn as they did before, so you should ignore that from the mapping perspective. It's quite dark. In fact, those of you without night vision find it disconcerting as what little light there illuminates from the staircase above you trickles now into this room, this grand chamber. Fisk, you approach the doors. These double doors are closed. There's no obvious lock or locking mechanism, just a push-pull type set of gold inlaid handles on either door. You're going to open it? You're going to open it? Right.
Yes.
Everyone else good? Fisk goes over to the doors.
I'm going to go over to bring Irina.
This grand hall is choked. Right. Let me start again. No, sorry. This grand hall is choked with darkness ahead. The arched ceiling has drapes and life-size statues of knights line the hallway on both sides. Their eyes seemingly watching you.
I'll stealthily walk in.
Okay. And?
Right.
Arena just disappeared.
Okay.
Arena just disappeared.
Irina just disappeared? Yeah, she did. Wait, hang on. What's going on there? No, there she is. Is she not there?
No.
What?
No.
No, I can't see her.
Okay, I haven't done anything with Irina. She's on the token layer. She's
Okay.
right next to Ia,
Just
to the south of Ia.
Oh, I see her now.
That's weird.
Yep.
Okay,
I can't
I'm
see her.
moving her up next to
Okay.
Fisk.
It's really-
Yeah. So yeah, I haven't done anything with Irina, just so you know. Yeah, that must be.
Okay. I still
Yeah,
can't
so,
see her,
no,
so
she's still there. She's just
I'll just-
to the south of Fisk. Fisk, as you enter the room, you see these statues of these knights. Their eyes all looking towards the west. Their faces, and it's quite dark. Now, can I just quickly check who has night vision and who doesn't? Are you lighting any kind of light?
I do. I believe.
Yeah.
Features and traits. It's dark vision.
Okay, so what do you guys want to do?
I'm going to just investigate around where I am at the moment, both the floor and maybe the closest
Okay, give me an
statue.
investigation. What are you looking for, I should say?
Just looking for any obvious, traps or anything odd, out of place. Being my naturally risk-averse, self-aware little thief that I am.
Bernard, are you?
Yep.
Yep, cool.
Okay. I'll just whisper to the others to be quiet, and I'll creep down the corridor, being as stealthily as I can be.
Give me that stealth.
I'm going to give it to you. 22. I don't tend.
I'm still here, don't worry, I'm just checking something.
Okay. I think the gargoyles are going to be watching us. Fisk, are those statues in the hall?
Yes.
I think it's like the gargoyles. They're going to be watching us, right?
Probably.
What kind of statues were they again?
You hear in your head, because I telepathically whisper to you, that
Okay.
I heard there's something at the other end, something noise, something hiding, I think. So I'm just going to go down and investigate quietly.
Okay.
I got the feeling it was a nervousness in the hiding, not someone evil, but I don't know. I'll send you another message into your head that I've seen something behind the third step, hiding behind the third from the east on the northern wall.
Third statue.
Excuse me.
Do we all get that information?
Sorry.
Or was that just Starfire?
Sorry, third statue is this one. Sorry.
So I'm going to jump around and challenge whoever's there.
Roll for initiative. Everyone roll for initiative, please, just so I get the entire party sorted. Right. That's
What happened to the not attacking anyone in Strahd's house, or the truce is broken?
I didn't attack anyone, I just challenged whoever was lurking behind the statue.
Hang on, sorry, wait. You got a 23, everyone just wait. Sorry, I need to clear it. Okay. Sorry, go again, and I'll add you with a 23, Fisk. Oh shit, that's bad. Okay. Let me actually get you, not the marker for the
Snap.
So you got 23, didn't you, Ben? Yep. Yep, cool. Okay, snap. Okay, so Irina, add a turn. Anyone want to roll for Irina?
I just rolled for her. Do you want me to roll ear?
Yep, so 5 for Irina. Yeah, give me an ear. Did someone do ear?
Yep, she rolled a 22.
22. Oh, nice. That's very good.
Let's hope Ear doesn't battle. Remember, we're not supposed to fight or hurt anybody in Strahd's house.
Yes, but I didn't fight, I challenged. I said, hey you, basically, in the vernacular.
Dangerous.
For fuck's sake, Jesus. This is getting really difficult. Sorry. Let me just, 22. Oh my goodness. What is going on? 22. Right. Okay, let's just put that in descending order. And we have Fisk at 23, Ear at 22, Starfire at 13, Wolfer at 13, and Irina at 7. Okay. Let me get back to you.
Spin around.
Wait. Oh. Okay. Leaping around, you see this figure armed with a sword. A rapier, no doubt. And it leaps out in front of you. You have you have the initiative. What do you want to do? It's the figure leaps out, comes around as you challenge. It sort of leaps around and has its rapier out in front, and basically ready to go.
I jump back quite easily and well out of the way and tell him to take it easy.
Mm-hmm.
Stand down, stand down. We don't mean you any harm.
You see in front of you a Vistani looking woman. Quite fine figured. She's holding a rapier. She says, "Who are you?"
Fisk. Who are you?
"What are you doing here?"
Yeah, we were guests of Strahd.
She says, and at this point, does anyone else want to do anything? And the initiative turn. Ia, is she doing anything?
Ia is going to move up towards Fisk to back him up if this goes badly. Back him up with music.
Okay. Starfire?
You're muted.
I know, I was just trying to find the screen. Sorry. Nope, Starfire is just going to stay and out of the way and hopefully not intimidate the woman.
Any Wolfrel?
I'm going to move up about this far and take Irina with me. Because I don't want to crowd her either. I'm hoping it might be someone we're looking for. I don't say out loud.
So Irina moves up with you. And this person, this Vistani looking woman in front of you with her rapier pointing towards Fisk across the sort of 15 feet that there is, comes out of the darkness and says, "Why are you here? You're guests of Strahd. What are you doing?" "Where is Strahd? Tell me, where is he?"
Calm yourself. Strahd has gone to his chambers with his wenches.
Has he gone down below, or has he gone up to his lovemaking?
He's gone up for his lovemaking.
"Do you mean me harm?" she says, and she points a sword. "Then let me pass and ascend to
Who are you and what are you doing
my
here?
destiny."
What's your destiny?
"My destiny is to kill Strahd von Zarovich." Now with that, she lowers her rapier and takes a step 5 feet closer, defiantly. She continues to walk, and she's about to go past you. She walks another 5 feet.
I will move out of her way.
Ia is now in her way. What's Ia going to do? She takes another 5 feet.
He is going to let her go past her.
Ia moves up next to Fisk. The woman takes another 5 feet, and Irina and Wolfrel now stand in front of her. She sort of pauses as she closes with Irina.
I'm going to say Esmeralda.
She whips out the rapier and turns towards you and says nothing. She just is assessing you up and down.
Do you think going and doing something like that alone is a wise move?
She says nothing. She's continuing to look at you, and then she starts to now look back towards Irina.
I'm going to ask Esmeralda. Are you well? We've been asked to inquire after your health and well-being.
She now turns her gaze from Irina and back towards you, Wolfroll. And then she steps back 5 feet in between, just next to the statue here, and she goes, "Who are you people? And more importantly, why is Tatiana with you?" And at that point, we're going to leave it right there.
Damn it.
Thank you, one and all.
Sweet. Thanks, Dunk.
Thank you.
Always good fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
End up dead.
Yeah. Well, we've survived at least 3 more rooms than I thought we would have.
Well, that cage, hey, can't be trusted now.
Bloody cage. You can't trust the mages.
No, from the moment his eye went, always dodgy.
Mm.
Dodgy,
It's
dodgy.
like Mad Eye Moody and he's in the bottom of a trunk somewhere in reality.
Maybe. Oh, you're right, a slug has taken over his brain. Maybe it's an alien infestation. And it's changed his personality.
Do you think we
Like
can deprogram him?
It's like a dodgy Netflix movie. I can't remember the name of it, with the blackness in them. These things got spat. Maybe Cage is now under the influence of something else. Do we want to try and save Cage or just cut him loose?
No, he's dead to us.
Do you think? He had some really good spells.
I know, that's why I'm sad. I'm like, he did have good spells, lots of fire stuff and tidal wave I'm very, very fond of.
I think we should try to convince him to come and be deprogrammed. Mind you, it's probably too late after he's spent a night with those lot.
Yeah.
Be interesting to see whether he comes back to the room and joins us after his playing, or whether he just stays and we see him at some point tomorrow. I suspect he'll stay with Strahd.
Yeah, I think he might too.
What's the plan? Do we just leave him then? If he wants to stay with Strahd, we're like, fine.
Yeah. See ya.
I mean, Strahd gains a sorcerer, though.
I'll stick a dagger into him at some point. Right.
Okay.
Cut his treacherous throat.
Okay, good to know. Plan C.
I wonder if Esmeralda knows where our book is.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out how she got in the castle as well, right?
Yeah.
I just realised that Duncan and Bern have the same background.
Yeah, that's the dining.
The dining room.
So many questions for her. How long has she? She must have been in here a while, you would think.
Yeah. Seemed she'd been gone for a bit. It's weird that she's only just appeared now, though, right?
Well, we've never seen her at the hotel, have we?
Van Richten said to keep an eye out for her because she was at Strahd's, but it just seems really weird.
We need to go find him, this Van Richten, find him again, and get his guide to Barovia. It's just been, hasn't it?
Yeah. I think Van Richten has much more information. It's interesting Strahd wants us to bring him in alive, though, right? Because that kind of feels like, I don't know. It feels like he has plans for Van Richten. Why would you not want him dead? What's Van Richten's role in all of this?
What has Van Richten done to bother him enough that he would do that?
Yeah. I think we need to talk to Van Richten more when we get back.
Mm. Are we going to let Esmeralda go off and on her mission?
No.
No. I think we probably... Well, we should encourage her to sneak out, right? Of the car.
Does she
Because
know
otherwise-
where he sleeps?
If she's going to be wandering around, he might think she's with us. We don't want that. We don't need her trouble.
No.
So we need to question her and find out what her situation is and what she knows.
Yeah. And then smuggle her out of the castle. Either that or we cut her loose and deny all knowledge. Which would be tough. It's a hard one. She's put us in a very awkward position. God damn it.
Well, we could just let her go do what she's going to do. Like, that's not us doing it.
Yeah, but it's a suicide mission.
A suicide mission, did you say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But will we get... will we be punished for not alerting Strahd, though? Because we've seen her.
Not if she goes quietly, but if he finds out, we will be.
Yeah, see, that's just it.
We didn't say we'd be his guards.
True. He has people for that, doesn't he? It's not our fault if they're all in his bedroom.
But we probably should try to get her out.
Convince her to leave.
Yeah.
Because she must know a lot.
Yeah. Let's try and convince her to leave. And we'll meet up with her back in Vakterholt. With Van Richten. Then maybe we can get some answers. Yeah, that would be good. What do you reckon?
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think? Okay. It's a plan.
I wonder if we get a chance to explore later on where did you go when you went to get the wine, Fisk?
Down the stairs to the cellar.
Oh, you went downstairs.
And you didn't see any kind of dragon skull while you were down there, just the person hanging being bled.
Yep.
Okay.
And do you know why they took you? Like, it was kind of weird that they wanted to take one of us down there, wasn't it?
Seemed a bit odd, but I volunteered. They didn't pick me.
Yeah, I think it's because he wants us to break the truce. So it's getting our curiosity piqued. I think he's just trying to play us, that's all.
Yeah.
Because if we break the truce, he can do whatever he likes.
Probably right.
So I'm a suspicious sort, though. It's a tough one.
I'm going to go.
Yeah, I should let you guys go. You have sleep.
Yeah.
Sleep and work. Oh my God.
Is it Sunday morning there?
Yeah. Well, actually, no, it's Sunday afternoon now. It's after lunch. It's lunchtime. Yeah, so exciting.